Welcome back to the sanctuary of the unspoken. Welcome back to News Around. In a world where information is often cheapened by haste, we pride ourselves on being the architects of the deep dive, the ones who wait for the dust to settle so we can show you the truth hidden beneath. Today, the atmosphere in the celebrity world is charged in a way we haven't felt in an age. We are stepping into the heart of a moment that cracked open the silence of a pre-dawn terminal and sent a seismic shockwave through every corner of the digital universe. It is a moment that sparks 1,000 theories and ignites that breathless, human need to know what is truly real behind the polished veneer of stardom. At the center of this maelstrom is a woman who uses silence like the finest silk and a man who shields his heart like a reinforced vault. We are, of course, talking about the inexhaustibly captivating duo, Özge Yağız and Gökberk Demirci. Before we begin to peel back the intricate layers of the surprise that landed at the airport today, anchor yourself in our circle of seekers. Subscribe to News Around so our deep dives never slip past you, and tap that notification bell to be the very first to witness a story breaking open. For those among you who believe in storytelling that respects the soul of the subject, please consider clicking the join button. Your direct support allows us to remain meticulous, mindful, and independent in our pursuit of the stories that matter. Now, take a deep breath. We are about to walk into the eye of the storm. In the fragile, bluish hush that precedes a winter sunrise, when international airports usually drift along with the rhythmic sleepwalk of weary travelers, something fundamental shifted. The terminal, a place defined by muffled goodbyes, half-hidden faces, and the cold anonymity of transit, suddenly became the stage for a drama that no scriptwriter could have choreographed more perfectly. It began as a collective pause, a momentary suspension of time as if the entire departure hall inhaled in unison, before cracking into a frantic rush of activity. The photographers, those modern seafarers who read the changes in the atmosphere the way their ancestors read the wind, formed a tide. Their lenses were already trained on the entrance, sensing a change in the air before the figure even appeared. Then, the flashes began. They stitched hot needles of white light across the gleaming polished floors, illuminating the epicenter of the commotion, the unmistakable presence of Özge Yağız. For what has felt like an eternity, her name has hovered over gossip forums and fan threads like a neon question mark, always orbiting the same gravitational center. What is truly happening in the private, guarded world of Gökberk Demirci? Through months of relentless speculation, Özge has remained the embodiment of a deliberate, almost supernatural calm. She offered no frantic denials and no impulsive confessions. Instead, she maintained a curated quiet, a silence so elegant it turns mere curiosity into a profound, aching longing. She is a woman fluent in the art of the non-answer, possessor of a half-smile that can reset a conversation and disarm an inquisitor in a single heartbeat. However, today the questions outpaced even the cameras. The terminal, usually vast enough to swallow even the most famous sightings into the grey fog of anonymity, was transformed into a high-stakes theatre overnight. Amidst the mechanical churn of luggage wheels and the rhythmic cadence of boarding calls, one voice rose with the clarity of a bell. It was a question that didn't just ask, it struck. Özge Hanım, is it true you married Gökberk Demirci? The inquiry was blunt, lacking the typical veneer of journalistic tact. It was a direct strike aimed at the opening created by weeks of coy social media captions and coded glances that had left the public in a state of perpetual suspense. Everyone present, the photographers, the travelers, even the security personnel, braced for her signature move. They expected the graceful pass-by, the veiled smile that says everything and nothing, and the unbothered glide toward the security gates. But today, the page was turned, and a new chapter was written in real time. Özge Yağız stopped. It was a careful, almost theatrical stillness, the kind of pause that makes the surrounding world change shape. She tilted her chin just a fraction, an act of quiet poise that suggested an actress stepping into a line she had rehearsed in a private mirror for a moment she knew was inevitable. As that famous, measured smile appeared, the air around her seemed to grow cooler, more focused. The cameras surged forward instinctively, the confusion of the crowd snapping into a high, feverish thrill of anticipation. Then came the cascade. The reporters, emboldened by her pause, threw out a barrage of inquiries that hit like waves against a shore, Are you and Gökberk in a good place? Have the families finally met? Are you two heading to the same secret city right now, just not together to avoid the cameras? Do you plan to make anything official before the year ends? Özge listened to this storm with a protective, almost maternal light in her eyes. She stood like a guardian at the doorway to her own home, deciding exactly how much of the interior to reveal to the strangers outside. When she finally spoke, her voice traveled across the hall, yet it felt as intimate as a secret whispered in the dark. "I know you're curious," she said, her tone a masterclass in diplomacy. "But I believe things unfold best in their own time. I feel peaceful. The rest, you'll understand soon." It was a statement that was both a shield and a bridge. It provided enough hope to sustain the fanbase while maintaining the sanctity of her private reality. The line floated through the hall like an expensive perfume, lingering in the air long after she had turned her back. She moved through the security checkpoints with a steady, unwavering hand, her passport and phone held forward, never once glancing back at the chaos she had left in her wake. As we watch this clip rocket across digital feeds, we have to ask you, the Newsaround community, do you believe Özge's peace is the ultimate confirmation of a secret wedding? Or is this a calculated move to protect a love that is still growing? We want to hear your deepest theories in the comments section below, and please, tell us which Turkish celebrity couples you want to see us analyze next. Also, a quick reminder to our loyal viewers. If you find value in these in-depth reports, please consider hitting that like button. And if you really want to support the quality of our work, the join button is right there. Your membership helps us keep Newsaround as the gold standard for celebrity news analysis. As the video of Özge's encounter reached the internet, another crucial piece of the puzzle resurfaced, a line from Gökberk Demirci himself, captured just days earlier after a long rehearsal session. A microphone had caught him on the move, and his response was the perfect mirror to Özge's energy. "I prefer not to discuss my private life," he had stated with firm kindness. "I'm happy." Today, that simple sentence became magnetic. It pulled every one of Özge's words into its orbit, creating a unified front of contentment. His steady, unshakable happiness combined with her poised serenity created a flood of rumors that began to blur the banks of reality. By noon, the internet was split into competing camps. Some claimed the game was over, and that nothing remained but a slow, choreographed unveiling on their own terms. Others argued that her trip wasn't a breather or a work assignment, but a sacred personal step she hoped to shield from the world just a little longer. The theory that truly made pulses race, however, came from the digital detectives of the fanbase. One eagle-eyed follower posted a hazy photograph of the departures board from the terminal. It showed two flights heading to the same international destination, their departure times separated only by a whisper of minutes. Was it proof of a coordinated chess move to dodge a single, explosive photo that would blow the doors off their privacy? It sounded like the plot of a high-stakes romance novel, yet in the world of Özge and Gökberk, the impossible often feels like the most likely truth. By evening, what should have been a routine travel day had transformed into the week's keynote event. The internet's content creators began to analyze the airport footage with the precision of forensic scientists. They looped the micro-moment when her lips parted before she spoke. They swore a tiny dimple showed differently than it would on an average day. They read a specific rhythm of contentment in the way she shifted her weight. Even her jewelry was placed under the microscopic lens of public scrutiny. Was that ring a new addition? A piece she always wears? Or a recent gift with a story not meant for a public terminal? Skeptics, of course, planted their flags, calling the entire encounter a strategy of sustained suspense. Yet, even the skeptics seemed to do so with a sense of admiration. Because the dance between Özge Yilmaz and Gökberk Demirci is a delicate one. It is a high-wire act of private truth pitched against an insatiable public appetite. And today, they danced it with unparalleled elegance. The last beat of the uncut airport video is perhaps the most telling. After her final sentence, Özge lifts her hand in a small wave, soft, respectful, and conclusive. She reaches the barrier, disappears behind the glass into that maze of gates where cameras cannot trespass, and leaves the world to wonder. People have begun to tug at the threads of her older interviews, her philosophies on patience, on loving slowly, and on timing as destiny. They have paired them with Gökberg's previous statements about focus and the desperate need to keep a sacred center in a noisy, intrusive trade. When viewed side by side, these fragments make today's events feel almost inevitable. They are a couple steering their own ship without ever grabbing the wheel in a way that looks like a struggle. There are no dramatic stunts here, no incendiary public posts designed to trend. Instead, there is a persistent, quiet refusal to let strangers write their book for them. We are watching the tide pull back and surge again, but this time, the energy is different. It isn't the frantic, hollow rattle of early gossip. It is warmer, calmer, and threaded with a hopeful hush. When a couple protects their center with this much dignity and still manages to spark this much intensity, the public leans in out of affection as much as curiosity. That is what today represented, a fandom that is finally ready to wait, as long as the moment they eventually receive is as honest as the silence they are witnessing now. So, where does this leave us tonight? Is there a hush-hush marriage celebrated in a circle too small for echoes? Or is this simply the choice of two people nourishing something real away from the blaze of the spotlight? One thing is certain, the sentence Özge Yağız left us with at the airport belongs to this week. It gripped the timeline and spun it on a new axis. Whether this leads to a formal vow, a grand announcement, or a continued promise to keep the center private, today will be remembered as the day their silence changed shape. The energy has shifted, and we at News Around will be here to document every heartbeat of that change. What is your final verdict? Are you team secretly married or team protecting the peace? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed this deep dive, please like the video and subscribe to join our community. And don't forget to check out our join options for exclusive perks and to help us keep bringing you the stories that no one else explores with this much detail. Thank you for watching News Around. Keep your eyes on the truth, and we will see you in the next investigation. Goodbye for now.